I liked to think of myself as a badass, independent woman who didn't need anyone. But, gods, what's a vampire gotta do to find someone to share a lavender blueberry cider and a few kisses with? My cottage was a mess, as usual, but it was one of my happy places. I had moved into my haven as soon as I could afford to live on my own, and it had been the best decision of my life. It was small, but it was cozy, and it was mine. Every available space was filled with houseplants. I had a massive bookshelf filled with tomes covering the entire side wall, and I even had space for my personal collection of knickknacks. Trinkets filled every nook and cranny. It was delightful. There was hardly room for a bed among all the wonderful clutter. My bed was more of a pallet, wedged in a corner, forgotten until it was time to catch some sleep. I didn't usually pay it much mind. I wouldn't go so far as to call myself an interior decorator, but I knew a good trinket when I saw one. I lovingly caressed the leaves of my purple ficus as I passed, making a mental note to wipe the dust off them later. That mental note would probably vanish as soon as I walked through the door, but it was the thought that counted. I was a good plant mom when I remembered to be. I pulled my mess of blue hair back into a twist, tucked it under the hood of my cloak, and tromped towards town. The journey would only take a few minutes, but I was determined to escape the eyes of the locals. The human and non-human folk of Moonvale were used to my antics at this point, and it took a lot to surprise anyone. But this stylistic choice had been inflicted upon me against my will, so I chose to rebuke it. My cottage was nestled into the edge of the greenwood forest, and I loved the privacy that the location granted me. Sure, neighbors were fine, but nothing was better than some peace and quiet. I meandered my way through the sparse trees on the forest's border until my boots clacked on the stone walkway leading into town. I took a deep breath, pulling crisp air into my lungs, relishing the morning. It smelled like greenery and living things, the best smell in all realms. Or maybe the best smell was fresh-baked berry tarts. It was a very close competition.